It's an awesome day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, both at home and also in diaspora. Hope you all are doing well today. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful episode of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across this channel for the first time, I am Adejari. I am your host here on Property Matters. Property Matters is a real estate talk show here on YouTube. This is where we expose you to all the nitty gritty, the do's and the don'ts, the areas of specification, things you need to know about the Nigerian real estate market. In case you're coming across this channel for the first time, do well to to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop a video, you will be the very first to see it. So in case you're coming across this channel for the first time, you have seen our videos, you have picked one or two lessons. We have been of immense help in any other way of real estate investment, whether it is short-let rentals, whether it is apartments, whether it is land, whether it is document, whether it is verification. In every areas of real estate, we have an educative playlist on land, short-let rentals, tips of off-plan, the ABC of off-plan, different manipulations that is being used in the Nigerian real estate market. So in case you're coming across the channel, you are watching this video, you are getting a lot of lessons from it. You're getting a whole lot of things. We will expose you to the things you don't know. Come on, encourage us by subscribing. What we want to achieve this year basically is to hit a 1,000 subscriber, and with your help, with your support, we can achieve this. Thank you for subscribing. I'm saying thank you in advance because I know you're going to subscribe. I know you're going to turn on the notification bell, and I know you're going to share this video with everybody you love. So today's episode is going to be an insightful, and of course it's going to be the best and of the best. Of course, we don't give less. So I'll be back immediately after this short commercial, and I will continue in details. So on today's episode of Property Matters, you're welcome back. On today's episode of Property Matters, I'm going to be talking about the Fourth Mainland Bridge. All you need to know. But today's episode, this particular topic, will be broken into series. So we're going to have a whole lot of series. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about the Fourth Mainland Bridge, how it's going to be of economic importance to the people of the island, to the people of the mainland, to every other people who will be applying this road. But like I said, today's episode is going to be in series. Now, the very first aspect of series that we're going to be talking about is the disadvantage of the Fourth Mainland Bridge. I know this will obviously sound as a surprise. Everybody is saying a whole lot of good things about the Fourth Mainland Bridge. Of course, it is tagged to be one of the biggest economic changer, of course, in the aspect of easing down traffic and vehicular movement in around different places in Lagos. But before, of course, I'm going to be talking about the advantages and I'm going to be talking about the disadvantages. So the very first thing I'm going to be talking about is the disadvantage. Like I said, it's going to be in series. Okay, for somebody who are just coming across this video, because you're wondering, perhaps you're in diaspora, you may not be informed about what is going on in Nigeria. The Lagos State government have approved the construction of the Fourth Mainland Bridge. So before I go into a detailed analysis about the Fourth Mainland Bridge, okay, I'm going to be showing a short documentary on everything you need to know about the Fourth Mainland Bridge. It's an 8-minute documentary. It contains all the needed information, all the areas the bridge is going to cover, the economic advantage of the bridge, the cost of the bridge, when Lagos State intend to start the project. So this documentary will give you a whole lot. So you know very well that on Property Matters, we don't always give less, okay? So just get yourself a cold bottle of wine, chill, relax, okay? Property Matters is here to give you all the information you need to know. And of course, if you are the coffee type, you can just get yourself a warm cup of coffee, relax, get yourself maybe popcorn, enjoy the documentary, learn every information you can pick about it, and I'll be coming back to expatiate more after these short timeouts.
The Lagos State government plans the construction of Fourth Mainland Bridge. Lagos State is one of the most congested cities in the world. 40% of cars in Nigeria are registered in Lagos. Commuters spend at least 3 hours in traffic each day. Traffic congestion leads to many problems for residents of Lagos, and that led to the idea of the Fourth Mainland Bridge. The Fourth Mainland Bridge is a proposed 38-kilometer-long bridge by the Lagos State government, connecting Lagos Island by way of Lekki, Langbasa, and Bayeku towns, and across Lagos Lagoon to Itamaga in Ikorodu. The bridge is a 2x4-lane carriageway cross-sectional road with permission for BRT lane and future road construction.
So, if you also monitor, 2 weeks ago, we advertised Fourth Mainland Bridge. We put it on the advert. You know what has happened with Fourth Mainland Bridge? Two things, right? What's my budget? My total budget for next year is about 3 billion, and that's the biggest in the country, right? Fourth Mainland Bridge, from the design we've seen, is a 37-kilometer road. It's not just Fourth Mainland Bridge. We want to make it a ring road that will take the back of Ikorodu, come out at Agri Kishawo, and now further take you to Lagos Badagry Express. So just behind your premises here. That's the whole plan, and it's 37 kilometers. So what have we done? We cannot handle it alone. Let's use private equity. So we've advertised.
The bridge is expected to become one of the longest bridges in Africa, featuring 3 toll plazas, 9 interchanges, 4.5-kilometer lagoon bridge, and an eco-friendly environment, amongst other added features. The idea was conceptualized by the former governor of Lagos State, Ahmed Tinubu. Construction was first planned to commence in 2017, 51 years after the state's existence and 27 years after the delivery of the Third Mainland Bridge by the ex-military president Ibrahim Babangida. The project was to cost the state an estimated sum of 844 billion naira in the 2017 budget. In September 2020, the Lagos State government proposed another sum of $2.2 billion for the construction.
We have the right of way for the Fourth Mainland Bridge. We have all of the biometric study that we have done. Let everybody worldwide, let everybody come and play in it. In our head, we believe it's about $1 billion. I mean, it's give or take. I'm just throwing a number, right? So it's there.
Dollars or naira?
Oh, it has to be. It has to be. So the Fourth Mainland Bridge, by the grace of God, we should be able to close up on the commercials by the middle of next year. Okay. That's why it's been advertised. So the advert is closing. The expression of interest is actually ending, I think it's next week. Okay. We've given a 4 weeks deadline. It was on 5 newspaper, local and international newspapers. So, and we've gotten a lot of people making inquiries, asking questions. A lot of people are interested. So we do not want to do Fourth Mainland Bridge under the table or just people that we know. We want the best quality, at the cheapest cost and at the closest time frame for Lagosians.
800 houses are expected to be demolished as against the 4,000 earlier marked for demolition in the previous design that was realigned. In May 2015, the former governor Akinwumi Ambode signed a memorandum of understanding with a consortium of firms and finance houses for the construction of the bridge. During its conception, the government had to stop several times when it realized that about 3,000 structures could be affected by the bridge's right-of-way. To continue the construction, a new alignment design concept was produced to save about 2,200 houses from being destroyed. The project, when completed, will give birth to the longest bridges connecting Lagos Island to the Lagos mainland. NAN reports that the bridge will pass through Lekki, Langbasa and Bayeku towns on the lagoon estuaries to Itamaga in Ikorodu.
But on the back of Fourth Mainland Bridge is one of the roads that I call the regional road. The regional road is supposed to relieve the Lekki Express road. So that was why I went on a tour, identify the right of way for the regional road. The regional road is also a road that we want to build on the PPP, right, and be able to make it ready so that when you move traffic on the Lagos Express road, you have a regional road that will reduce that traffic so that you are not just transferring movement from one part of the city to another part. And like I said, like I did observe, right, people that are on that right of way is also another opportunity for them to go and do the needful. Just go and remove your structure on it before I come and remove the structure.
The bridge will serve as a complement to the Eko, Carter and Third Mainland bridges and help to reduce traffic. The bridge is expected to have a 4-lane dual carriageway. Mrs. Aramide Adeyoye, Special Advisor to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Works and Infrastructure, had said that the state government had opened bids for prospective 39 firms that expressed interest in the construction of the bridge.
We ought to have finished on this 4th Mainland Bridge. And one of the things that has not allowed us as a people and as a nation to actually close out on that has been the lack for the transparency that we needed to show if we were getting funding by a PPP basis. That we started. We started this process exactly in November 2019, where we did ask for expression of interest, International News, Engineering News Journal. And that by that way, what we declared to the whole world was that we were going to throw up the cards open. And that's what we have done.
She explained that the committee would immensely support the project in terms of funds to ensure it further eases gridlock in the state. The 4th Mainland Bridge is a feasible project and it will be financed through a public-private partnership project where conglomerates will be invited to come and build it. The state government could not do it alone because it had realized that it could only work on taxpayers' money. There are individuals, companies or conglomerates that have the financial muscles to deliver the project on time to the admiration of the populace. The state government also needs to regulate the toll gate charges so it could be reasonable to pay and be spread over the years for them to recover their money. It would also become one of the longest bridges in Africa, second only to the 6th October Bridge in Cairo, Egypt, featuring 3 toll plazas, 9 interchanges, 4.5-kilometer lagoon bridge, rest and service areas, and an eco-friendly environment, amongst other added features. Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu disclosed this at the first stakeholders meeting on environmental and social impact assessment for the bridge held at Adeyemi Bero Hall, Ikeja. The freeway bridge is subdivided into 3 sections, namely Island section, Lagoon section, and Mainland section. It starts at the Abraham Adesanya roundabout in Lekki, where a free-flow interchange will be constructed, as well as some traffic flow alterations to the existing Lekki-Ekpe Expressway so as to maintain traffic movements during construction. Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, said the event is very significant in the state's joint effort to change the narrative of the socio-economic development of the state through the provision of critical infrastructure for sustainable prosperity. He stressed that the 4th Mainland Bridge project was deliberately included during their electioneering campaign as a key deliverable in their manifesto. As an administration, the government decided to upgrade the project and develop a method to deliver this piece of highway infrastructure and have since left no one in doubt about its commitments to ensure that this project becomes a reality. The history of the 4th Mainland Bridge project goes back almost 15 years when it was first raised due to the ever-decreasing efficiency of the existing 3rd Mainland Bridge in addressing the transportation needs of a growing population. The 3rd Mainland Bridge was the first real piece of strategic infrastructure deployed in Lagos metropolis, and the proponents and developers of that project should be commended for their vision. Lagos today without the 3rd Mainland Bridge is simply unimaginable. Click on the video showing on your screen to see the new airport constructed in Lagos, Nigeria.
Alright, from the video you've just seen, you will agree with me that the 4th Mainland Bridge is going to be the longest, one of the longest bridge in Africa. It's estimated to cost 2.2 billion, having 9 different interchanges, having different toll aspects. It's going to be one of the biggest economic changer. Over time, many people have, have, one or two issues about the traffic congestion that we have in Lagos, Nigeria. And the 3rd Mainland Bridge is, stated to connect strategic locations. Look at people coming from Ikorodu, people coming from different parts of Lagos, down to Ajah. Of course, I was told there's going to be another interchange in Ajah. So it's going to be a big project. As exciting as this news may sound, but I want you all to also understand that in addition to this, there are several disadvantages that the construction of the 4th Mainland Bridge is going to cause. But before I go into details, Let me quickly do a brief introduction of myself for somebody who might be seeing this video for the first time. I'm Adechari. I am a property consultant. I help smart investors like you to buy properties, whether it is houses, apartments, if it is land, any form of land, commercial investment, industrial investment, residential investment. I am the best. I'm not a surveyor, but we have some teams of surveyors that we work with that help us do most of our verifications. And of course, we will be glad to help you secure your properties at strategic location. So back to the discussion, the Fourth Mainland Bridge. So what is going to be the disadvantage? In the video, you would have heard that when they first proposed the construction of the Fourth Mainland Bridge, Lagos State's government initially at the initial stage marked over 3,800 buildings for demolitions. And you will also understand with me that even as at that, after a careful review and some due diligence, and of course a lot of investigations and of course research work was done, they now reduced the buildings that should be demolished into 800. Now, I've said it several times in any of my subsequent videos that when you want to buy a property in Lagos, Nigeria, you need to understand that after you have done your title check, after you have done your Omonile check, you also need to go and do what we call a town planning check. At the town planning check, you will be well informed of the projects that will be coming to that axis. Now, the town planning check will help you, to ascertain if there's going to be a future bridge, just like the Third Mainland Bridge that will be coming up soon, if there will be future bridges coming there, or there's a future road expansion, or there are industrial city coming to that axis. So the town planning check gives you an elaborate, information. Recently, when we're doing, of course, the same town planning check on the property a client of mine wanted to buy at the free trade zone, the woman called me on Friday, and she gave me an information of the property she wanted to buy at the free trade zone axis. And of course, like we always do, myself and my team of surveyors and of course our professionals, we drove down to site. We did an elaborate land mapping. When we call land mapping, what we do is location analysis. So the location analysis gave us a view, a plan of what government wants to do. To our greatest surprise, after we did the location analysis and we did a town planning research, we found out that there is going to be another coastal road within that same free trade zone axis, and that coastal road will connect the free trade zone back to Alaro City. So that means from Alaro City, you can drive from the free trade zone axis, which is the Akodo axis. You will connect to Alaro axis, and from there you can even drive straight to Ayetoro and also to Ekpe. So you see, what saved this woman from buying into a project that would have made her to lose money was because of the fact that she engaged us. We did an extensive due diligence and we found out that there's a coastal road. So the recommendation we gave her basically was that she should buy a property that is a little bit away from the coastal road, which is fully gazetted, and of course they're presently working on the governor's consent. That property is safe. The property is not on that coastal road and is very, very far away from the coastal road. You see, the reason why several houses will be demolished, despite the fact that government gave them documents, is because of the fact that a lot of people did not do what we call location analysis check. And of course, when you see from the video, you see that these are the places that the Fourth Mainland Bridge will pass, and you find out that there are several houses there. Even for the structures that will not be demolished, I can vividly tell you that the people whose house will be very, very close to the Third Mainland Bridge may not enjoy serenity because of what? Movement of vehicles, trailers, and the likes. So this is one of the disadvantages of buying a property without doing a town planning check and a location analysis. And this check helps you to know projects that will be coming within that axis. That is disadvantage number one. Now, the second disadvantage number two is that for people whose property will be demolished, I want you to be rest assured that government have what we call a resettlement plan. I'm going to say this. So government is not just going to take down those properties. They're not just going to bring down those buildings. No, they have what we call a resettlement plan. So what they will do is that they plan to adequately, resettle these people in different properties or different virgin lands that have been adequately reserved for this. What this simply means basically is that there are some lands we did, and of course this same location analysis at Monastery. There are some places we checked at Ogombo. There are some places we checked at Awoyaya, and we found out that these places were properties that government reserved for their resettlement scheme. Not just that, you see some of those places that are committed at Ibeju Lekki, some of those places that are committed for Ekpe, government have reserved those properties for what we call the resettlement scheme. Now, we were doing an analysis in the past few weeks, and we discovered that what government intend to do with those properties is that they will resettle some of the inhabitants, some of the places, some of the people whose project will be pulled to the ground. So the plan government has is that some of these people will be resettled at some of the government residential area. And it just shows quite unfortunate that some of these properties have been sold to investors who are not aware that governments have reserved some places for resettlement. So what is going to happen basically is that for people who have bought into this property, they have lost money. This is one of the reasons why we say that buying real estate in Nigeria is not just seeing the ad, patronizing. You need to do an extensive, and this is why we always clamor that we already have the team, we already have the people, we already have the manpower that can do this elaborate analysis and give you a detailed report before you make an investment. So you see, all those places in Ibeju Lekki that has been reserved for resettlement scheme, the places in Monastery, some places at Ogombo, and of course and other parts of Ibeju Lekki and Ekpe. In fact, there are some places we have checked, and we found out that even government have reserved some places for resettlement. So most of these people will be resettled at these locations that I have mentioned. So the disadvantage is that a whole lot of people that have ignorantly bought into this scheme will be losing their property without any form of compensation. You see, when we did the analysis at the free trade zone, it never occurred to anybody that government is even planning a coastal road even along that free trade zone that will even connect it to Alaro City, to Ayetoro, and of course all the way to Ekpe. This was the greatest surprise. So dear real estate investor, as this third mainland bridge, the fourth mainland bridge project is coming in, be rest assured that government will be very, very aggressive. More importantly, on those who ignorantly bought properties that government reserved for their resettlement scheme. So this is one of the reasons why we are always clamoring and giving you all the needed information about this fourth mainland bridge. So of course I said it's going to be an introduction. It's going to be in series. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about other places that will be, in fact, I'll be telling you the places that will be affected by the fourth mainland bridge. We're going to be looking at analysis as well as the economic importance. What can the fourth mainland bridge do to Lagos economy? What are the investment opportunities for smart investors? How can you strategically invest in locations that will give you outrageous return on investment? So these are some of the things we will be discussed on our channel. As you can see, in this year, we have a lot of exciting topics, eye-opening analysis, investment opportunities that we will be discussing on this channel. So one of the best things you can do for us right now is to subscribe to this channel. Invite your friends to subscribe so that when we give all those beautiful analysis, it will guide you on how and where to pitch your next real estate investment. This is where we're going to draw the curtain. Thank you for everybody that has subscribed. Thank you for those who will subscribe. And of course, in case you need any form of assistance, of course, our number below the caption of this video. You can contact us and we'll be very, very glad to help you. See you in our next video. Have a nice day and God bless you. Bye.